Curran Bhatia, Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. Keyshawn Davis representing DB3. First of all, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man, always.
Got you on this card. It's a big card. We got Shakur Stevenson up top, Oshaki Foster, Abdullah Mason, great talent. Your brother, Kelvin Davis, is going to be on the card as well. So you guys are representing. What does it mean for you, where you're at in your career, to be on this card?
It means a lot, man. I love fighting in Brick City, man. I almost feel like home, you know what I'm saying? They embrace me like home, and Brick City love me, so there's like the energy when I walk into that ring, man. I'm going to feel it, and it's going to carry over to the fight.
I know you're on the doorstep there of that next level, and it feels like you're getting closer and closer every time on the main ESPN card. And you're seeing right above you Oshaki Foster defending his title. Right above him, Shakur Stevenson defending his title. Is there a little bit of like manifestation, a little bit of like you can see a little bit of your next steps there?
Yeah, for sure, man. Just coming into pros, I knew I was gonna be a world champion, and I'm knocking on the door of that right now. So, just seeing those two green titles right there, the WBC, man, for sure, it's definitely a manifestation. I'm just seeing myself in that light as well.
I was ringside calling your fight for ESPN International in Texas for Nahir Albright. It was a tough fight because I think Albright really, for him, it was the fight of his life, I think, for that moment. We know what happened afterwards. That was changed to a no contest. You were able to come back from that versus Pedraza, get a TKO win. How important was that for you to come back from that situation and get a TKO?
It was very important. People was at that time was counting me out and was saying I look like a average fighter. I didn't look like that exciting fighter that they thought I was. So I just had to show the fans that, you know, one off night, don't think I'm not that. And I showed the fans that, and now, you know, I'm back to who I originally was, you know what I'm saying? So right about now, I'm just keeping this train rolling. And Saturday night is going to be another stoppage, another, you know, crazy performance. And I just can't wait to do it all over again.
You've been rolling in your career. Now, that one hiccup there with Albright, we know, so marijuana is legal in the U.S., but in Texas it wasn't, and therefore the situation where it's changed to a no contest, right? I know you've moved on from that situation, but we've talked about things that you've overcome and mental health and things like that. What was the emotional blow because that was a tough fought fight, a majority decision, when it was changed to a no contest? What was going through your head?
When it changed to no contest, I was mad about that because, like, a lot of people get caught with, like, PEDs and they ain't getting no contest, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like they was picking on me. But other than that, I really didn't care, honestly. You know, I got paid. I bought a house. I went to my brother Olympic trials. Then I went to my other big brother fight. Like, I was enjoying my life at that point, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't really care after I got over the no contest part.
I've heard you say that was a good thing that happened. You're more energized now than ever. So you're taking a situation which was less than ideal and flipping that around. I'm wondering how you're able to do that from an emotional standpoint, a mental mindset standpoint, taking a negative, turning into a positive.
I mean, I come from a negative and turn into a positive. I come from Norfolk, Virginia, and that is unfortunately not really a great city. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's just what I was born to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't handed nothing that I was given in life. You know what I'm saying? So just me being right here wasn't no accident. It wasn't no mistake. You know what I'm saying? I worked to get here. You know what I'm saying? So just turn that into just now that I'm in my career and something had happened in my career, it wasn't nothing to, you know, go back to the drawing boards and make it a positive.
You were able to flip that, rolling on your career. Saturday night, Miguel Madueño is your opponent. I know that you're not overlooking this opponent. You can't overlook any man in boxing. This isn't, let's say, a marquee top name, but this is a tough fight, a tough opponent. You're not overlooking this guy, right?
Oh, nah, and I'm not overlooking him. I'm just at a point where I'm finding myself in this sport, and I'm knowing what I'm gonna do in that ring. And Miguel, he's a game opponent. We size up real good. He might have some power. We'll see. We'll be getting there. And I know he's coming to fight. Just like he said with Nahir Albright, that was his fight of his life. And it ain't no different with Miguel Madueño. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his fights came from, Mexico or, pro box. He never been on ESPN. So we're going to see what his nerves going to be like when he step in that ring against a fighter like me.
In a way, it's like because of your background, your name, you're getting the best version of these fighters, right? They're training to the best of their ability because they know it's life-changing if they can have a good performance on you. It just increases the pressure. I want to ask you, I know that you've called out Teofimo Lopez in the past. We just saw him fight last weekend against Claggett. your thoughts about Tio versus Claggett?
The fight in general, for me, it was an interesting fight. Especially seeing that, you know, Teofimo outpunched him. I didn't really expect that at all. So seeing that, it was like, okay, Tio, he got some shit with him. Like he can make adjustments and he can outwork the worker. Like that's the type mentality I have. Like, okay, you punch a lot, I'm gonna outwork you. You know what I'm saying? You hit hard, I'm gonna make sure I hit harder than you. Like that's just me. And I guess Tio had that same mentality. Tested his conditioning. That's what he said he wanted to do for that fight, and I guess he did. And just for the fight in general, it was a good fight. I think it was a good fight for the sport of boxing.
Good fight for the sport of boxing. Now, I know you've called out Tio. It seems like Tio's kind of looking up in terms of weight classes and things that he wants to do. But seeing that, and if you did have the opportunity to fight Tio, now that you have that information from that fight, how do you think the fight would play out, you versus Teofimo Lopez?
I didn't have to watch the fight with Steve Claggett for me to say what I'm about to say right now. I feel like I will stop Tio. Tio can't beat me at all. He's terrified of me, honestly. This is just something that I know. I'm not just saying it. And he don't want to fight me, not only because whatever he says, but I think it's just because he know he can't beat me. And for, you know, a young rising star, you know, beating a guy that already been there, you know, it's going to make his career, you know, go downhill for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I understand to a certain extent. At the end of the day, we're fighters, you know, fight the best should fight the best. But whether I get Tio in the ring or not, I know the businessman's going to have a hell of a career, and he's going to turn to the star whether he get Tio in the ring or not.
We know that Shakur Stevenson is headlining this card. In terms of the other champions in the division, there's been talks of Tank Davis versus Vasily Lomachenko possibly coming together. If that fight comes together, I know you're a fan of the sport of boxing. You're watching all these fights. How do you think Tank versus Vasily Lomachenko would play out?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna bite my tongue on that prediction. I'm gonna just have to go back and watch more tape of those two. But I'm gonna I'm gonna bite my tongue on that prediction. So I'm gonna have to come back to that question.
I know that jokingly in the past I've said, "Hey, give me a dream opponent." Shakur Stevenson's name came up. Do you still want to fight Shakur Stevenson?
Hell yeah, man! Let's do it.
Lastly, you know, we've talked about the DB3 brand and everything that you and your brothers have done up to this point, and you're going to be on display again on Saturday night. So if and when you have successful performances, which I'm sure you guys will, where does this elevate that DB3 brand even more? What do we expect to happen on Saturday night for the DB3 brand?
Well, firstly, we got a 60-passenger bus coming to see us from Norfolk. Not only that, we just got so much people coming from Norfolk this time that's going to see us perform, man. So our brand, the DB3 brand, the name itself is going to grow after me and Kelvin get these knockout performances. People is going to start to realize that we are DB3 and we're in the sport of boxing for sure. And I think, like I said, this card right here is going to show that. It's going to be our breakout performance for DB3.
It's going down Saturday night, Newark, New Jersey, Prudential Center. DB3 is going to be in action. Keyshawn Davis is on the main card. His brother Kelvin Davis is fighting on the undercard. It's always a show when Keyshawn's fighting. Keyshawn, thank you so much for the time, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.